I can't think of anything that didn't excite me. I play Taylor, who is one of two sisters, and we first see her on the beach in the arms of a gorgeous man, Raph. They're in love, and it's kind of been a holiday romance. She leaves to go back to university to get her degree. And then 3 years later, when she's finished, her sister is now living in that part of Italy, so she flies her out as a celebration for graduating. And Taylor thinks she could rekindle things with Raph, but it turns out that her sister's actually engaged to him now. So it's a love triangle with sisters, which is kind of the worst imaginable situation, I think. But for Taylor, it's like a real coming-of-age story and finding her voice, and I think it's a lovely film for young women to see in that regard.
And were you able to draw on any real-life experience, either of summer romance or sibling rivalries?
No, it's been really boring. I haven't had any holiday romances. I'm a bit of a relationship person, so I've always been on holiday with my boyfriend, which is lovely, but I don't know. I think maybe when I was 14 I would have loved to have met a lovely Spanish boy, but it never happened. It's a bit sad.
About sibling rivalries?
There is actually none of that. I think people will find that a bit strange because my sister is also an actress. But we're incredibly supportive of each other, and all of her success has been so inspiring for me and for a lot of the people my age, because we came from a really normal background, grew up on a council estate, and now we're both doing this for a living, which is kind of mad. But I think she's been a huge inspiration in terms of ambition and what is possible, you know. She made me know that anything is possible if you work hard enough.
What do you think it is about the songs of this period that make them so sort of timeless and beloved?
I think it's that beat. They've all got that synthy, like electric kind of beat that makes you just want to dance. I love it, and all of the synths, and it's quite big sounding music. I think 80s music, it's quite full, and I think it does, definitely. It just makes me want to dance whenever I hear it. We're dancing in between every take when we were shooting. It was brilliant.
Were you daunted about taking on some of these iconic songs?
I was a bit, actually, yeah. I think especially the Whitney song, How Will I Know, I thought, oh God, we're going to have to bring that down a couple of keys, which we did. But I kind of wanted to put my own spin on it and put it in context of the movie. So it's obviously, we're never going to escape the original versions. They're iconic and fantastic. But I just wanted to kind of put it in the world of the film a bit, which will kind of make it relevant to it in the movie as well. So.
What's coming up next for you?
I've got a film coming out at the Edinburgh Film Festival next week, so I'm going up to release that, up to Edinburgh, which I'm very excited about. And then I'm keeping my options open. I think this was a really big break for me, and I want to kind of see what happens next. I've got a couple of things in the pipeline, but nothing that I'm really set on yet. So.
Maddie is one of two sisters. She's the eldest sister, and she's terrible with men. So she goes off to cleanse herself. She has a man-tox in Italy, and meets another man and is engaged within a few weeks. It's basically a lovely film about sisters and women and how difficult it is trying to find the one, and a lot of amazing songs in there, and a lot about friendship and how important that is. Set in Italy, so it looks pretty good as well.
Can you talk a little bit about filming on location and how that experience was for you?
Yeah, it was wonderful. Italy's my favourite place, so to find out that I'd got the job and that it was filming in Italy was double whammy heaven for me, and everyone was so lovely. We had a half Italian crew, so it was great to hear the Italian on the set. Some people were learning it, and it was a dream, absolute dream. I'd go back in a second.
Music's a huge part of the film. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the songs? I mean, there's some familiar ones in there, aren't there?
Yes, the music was amazing. We recorded the album before we filmed, which was mental. And I had some really great numbers. Power of Love was my big dance number as well, which I didn't really know, even from Back to the Future, so that was interesting. I'm a big fan of Hannah's voice, and she's got these amazing ballads. You can hear one of them there. So Turn Back Time, Must Have Been Love all that.
I mean, what is it about those ballads, that particular period of music, that you think makes it so enduringly beloved and popular?
I think they weren't afraid to just smack you in the face with what it was about. I mean, yeah, people might argue that it's cheesy, and it probably is, but it's emotional, and people are really fond of that. I think people enjoy crying over a song or laughing, which is why the film works, I think.
Is there a particular favourite number for you, a favourite moment in the film?
I quite like filming Venus because I got to dress like Venus, and I got to do a lot of swimming with very sexy Italian men. I had a lot of fun with Greg. We did a couple of numbers. Faith was amazing. Tango, we did a tango dance to that. Yeah.
What's coming up for you next?
I'm doing a play at the Almeida Theatre, Mr. Burns. In fact, I'm going there right now to do that.
Break a leg with that, and congratulations on the film. Thanks a lot. Tell us a little bit about how excited and nervous you were about making your big screen acting debut.
Oh my God, so excited. But the first few days I was literally shaking getting in front of the camera.
Were you daunted about the prospect of taking on some of these iconic 80s hits?
I was excited about it. I just thought it's going to be a completely different take on it, and we're singing in the characters, so it was kind of a different task to what I'm used to.
What do you think it is about the music of that period that makes it so enduringly beloved all these decades later?
It's got to be the synths. It's got to be the synths and the big hooky choruses.
Was there a particular anthem when you were growing up that really just put a smile on your face every time you belted it out?
I love Time After Time. I guess it's not like, the big kind of poppy kind of thing, but I love Cyndi Lauper. I think she's awesome.
Apart from acting, musically, what's coming up for you in 2014?
I'm getting in the studio at the moment and creating and going back to basics.
What's particularly inspired that change? Why are you going back to basics?
I think that it's all about the song for me, a powerful, amazing song, and it's nice to be in a position where it's like low pressure and I can just do what comes naturally and just be myself.
When are we going to get to hear some of that work?
Not yet, but soon.
Do you have a message for fans before you leave us, why they should be rushing, dancing out to watch Walking on Sunshine?
Because it's just a sing-along, amazing, feel-good film.
I play an old friend of the two main sisters, the Taylor and Maddie, and I play a character called Lil, who has kind of cajoled them on holiday in order to cheer them up after some man trouble. I'm kind of there to provide a bit of advice or a shoulder to cry on, or even just a very big alcoholic cocktail, or a song and a dance, as is necessary. So yeah.
Of course, there's so many iconic songs in this. Are there any that you're a particular fan of, and why do you think this particular era of music remains so beloved?
I love Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and I saw it on the list of songs that everyone was going to sing, and I was really pleased when I got to sing a good big chunk of that. But yeah, we were talking in the car on the way here because there were so many 80s songs just playing on the radio. It wasn't an 80s tribute radio station. It was just it's still very enduring music. So it's just there's something that's very upbeat and infectious, and it has a kind of brashness to it that I think really appeals to people. So I think especially when people are feeling a bit down or a bit in difficult times, that's the sort of music people want, really. Something that's just going to lift them up and go, sod it, let's have a dance.
Do you have a personal anthem? Is there a particular song you reach for every time you need to cheer yourself up a little bit?
I do like "Wanna Be Starting Something" by Michael Jackson. But I was quite obsessed with Michael Jackson as a teenager, so most of his stuff kind of gets me going. Maybe the odd bit of Beyonce. I don't know which bit of Beyonce is odd, but I'm sure it's very uplifting, whichever part it is.
What's coming up for you the rest of the year? Where are we going to see and hear you next?
I've got a book coming out on the 31st of July called Brenda Monk is Funny, which is a novel about a woman who becomes a stand-up comedian. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm very excited about it. And then I start filming a show called Map and Lucia, which is a BBC One comedy drama that's been adapted by Steve Pemberton from The League of Gentlemen, and it's going to be a real treat. I can't wait for people to see it. Yeah, Anna Chancellor and Miranda Richardson play the leads, and then Steve Pemberton's in it, and Mark Gatiss, and all these great people. And just watching Anna Chancellor and Miranda Richardson work is just a real education. I mean, even at the table read, I felt like I was at a kind of high-end West End theatre performance. I was just sitting back and watching. I practically forgot to say my lines. So the chemistry between the two of them is going to be brilliant.
We're excited about the book. Is there a lot of autobiographical stuff in there, I guess?
No, the book isn't autobiographical. I wouldn't say that, because it's not my story as such. She's not the character. Brenda Monk isn't me. And people who've read it who know me have remarked that it's not really very much like me. But you know, I have been in the world of stand-up for a very long time, and I've been around it, and I've performed stand-up, and I've performed in stand-up clubs, and it's just a world I find really fascinating, psychologically, everything about it, morally. So it's something I've been really wanting to write about for a long time. So yeah, it's good.
I think obviously in recent years there's been a lot of debate about the extent to which the stand-up circuit is kind of seen as a male preserve, and often the comedy panel shows on TV seem to reflect that kind of division. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think comedy is genderless in terms of people's ability to perform it, and any difference in style is down to an individual. So I think there's just so many brilliant female stand-up comedians working at the moment. You know, Sarah Pascoe, Aisling Bea, Josie Long. You know, lots and lots and lots of people who are just killing it in clubs every night. So I think it's time. Anybody who still has the last vestiges of a kind of bias against female comedians needs to get rid of it, because they're missing out.
And have you got a message to fans about this film and why they should be rushing out, dancing out to watch Walking on Sunshine?
Walking on Sunshine is just it is a ray of sunshine in the cinema. I mean, you can literally feel the heat coming off the screen. And, you know, it's just a film to have a glass of wine and come along and just have a laugh and have a sing to some great 80s songs and ogle some very, very good-looking Italian men.
Sold.
My character is Ruff, which is basically the leading guy, and is the guy that is involved in this strange threesome of love. Because I fell in love with this girl years before, and after 6 years I'm gonna marry another girl, but unfortunately I discovered in the church that those are sisters, and so it just starts all the movie from that point, and it's amazing. It's really, really nice. I just had so much fun. It's positive because it's a good message. It talks about friendships, loyalty, being truth with yourself. It's a positive message to the world in this moment, and we need that.
And of course, fantastic music. What excited you about that? Are there any particular songs that you were really happy to see in there?
All of them, all of them. I just grew up with them. I'm 30 now, but I just hear it so much times on the radio that it's quite exciting to be in a movie and sing those songs. I mean, I'm sorry for the authors and the singers. I know they're not gonna hate me, but those songs are amazing, and of course it's just part of our life in the last 30, 40 years.
And looking back, do you have one favourite memory from set?
The loyalty between every one of us was amazing. You know, when you work on a movie, you just arrive there. You don't know those guys. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really bad. Most of the times it's like in the middle. This particular time was like a strange connection. Everyone was so related to like each other and positive, and we're really friends now. We still go out and hanging out, and yeah. Amazing experience working with Leona, Anna Arterton, Annabelle Sholey, Greg Wise as well. All of them were really, truly amazing as persons, as professional. They're really fantastic, and I grew up so much working with them.
And why are they so enduringly popular, these songs?
Because I think they bring this positive message. You see, it's like, it's fun, you know. It's just make people laugh without a reason. You just feel it, and it just makes you feel better. You just smile, and I think that people need to smile more. We need to enjoy ourselves, our life more, because it's like kind of a gift to be here, and we should enjoy more our time. And music, it's amazing. It's like this medicine for the soul and make you feel good.
What's coming up next for you?
I have a couple of projects in Rome right now, and I'm looking forward to come to Britain as soon as possible, probably the end of September, to start another project here. So it will be fantastic. I really like London, and it's amazing. And I bring the sun today, so
Well, it was basically an idea I had with my sister and my missus dancing around the table one supper. We were all dancing around to loads of 80s music, and we all went, why on earth don't we make a musical set to all this music? So I came up with the idea, started developing the script, brought my guys Max and Dania, who I'd done the street dance movies with, and then we made the movie. So, well, it was very important for us to kind of create some new stars, and at Vertigo we've been quite proud about the fact that we kind of brought new talent out, like someone like Tom Hardy who we launched, and I think it's very important to kind of to do that. So someone like Giulio Berruti, Hannah Arterton, Annabelle Scully and Leona, of course, they're all essentially new to the business, but I think we're going to see a lot more of them in the future.
Was it hard to whittle down a selection of tunes for this particular story?
Very difficult. That took about 2 years trying to work out which song are we going to do and which song should we not have. A lot of contentious, songs made it out. I had to go out, but I think I hope that we've chosen a kind of good selection for the movie. It's just extraordinary watching how 80s seems to, you listen to 80s music at every party, every wedding, every bar mitzvah. It's kind of like, it's everywhere. And I like the fact that everyone seems to kind of feel, it kind of touches them in some shape or form. It's just great upbeat pop, and as it should be for a film like this.
For Vertigo, what's coming up in the rest of the year? What else can we look forward to?
Well, we got Pudsey coming up in a bit. We got the Pudsey movie coming up. We got the sequel to Monsters, which we're releasing at the end of this year. And then we're going to do another movie with Max and Daniel, which is going to be a Christmas musical. So with the greatest hits of Christmas. So that's another one we're going to do.
There's a lot of excitement, obviously, about the sequel to Monsters. What can fans expect from that?
I think basically more of what we've basically achieved, went for in the first film, pushing it a bit more exciting, a bit bigger, but still keeping the same thing that Gareth Edwards did in the first film. It's a very real film, very real characters, and the monsters are this extraordinary backdrop.
The film it's a girl who meets a boy, brings her sister over because she and the boy are going to get married. Then we realise that the sister used to go out with a boy. Are you with me still? And the girl who's getting married has left a long-time lover, who is me, who comes in to try and stop the marriage, trying to get her back, trying to woo her with his charm and legs. Of course, all of us in discos, when we were 14, 15, singing along with it, so I knew all the words to everything. But the singing then, I think, is a lot higher than it is now. People seem to sing a lot higher. So I had to wear some tremendously tight trousers and do a lot of exercise before I could get the top notes. But I think I got away with it. I hope I got away with it anyway.
Did you manage to use a lot of your real-life wooing techniques? Were you quite influential?
Wooing. I've never wooed anyone by my dancing before, and I don't know if I do in this film, but I used to sing a lot. I used to play guitar and woo that way when I was back in the 80s, back in the day. So, but it's a lot of fun, and the guy I play is fantastically narcissistic and very naughty. So my daughter, who's here tonight, has never seen me do anything ever. So this is her baptism of fire of seeing a very naughty dad on screen.
What made you both want to bring this fantastic musical adventure to the big screen?
Well, we had such a great script. It was hard not to. Our script was written by Justin Johnson, and we were given it by James, and it was like we read it and we thought this is something that we want to should be seen on the big screen and on the film. So
yeah, and we've always had a love for musicals, so it was something that we've always enjoyed as directors.
I think the music of the 80s was very special to a lot of people because it was like music everyone really kind of connected with, and it was like good songs, and so it kind of resonated, and it's like you know those kind of songs, they stick with you for the test of time.
Yeah, also so much was happening at that time, fashion and music. It was all exploding, wasn't it, with colour, and it was fun. Some of our fantastic cast we've had the fortune to work with are new to the screen, but they're well known in theatre. We've got the lovely Hannah Arterton and the beautiful Annabelle Scully, and you know, as sisters in this movie, they just bring something that feels really real and natural, and they bring an energy to it
Yeah, and also for us, I mean, we've cast Leona Lewis, who's never done any acting before, and people know her as a singer. So we wanted to bring something new to the project, and we felt with bringing her into the scene as an actress for the first time round, it'd be exciting for people to see, and it was for us. It was a challenge, and she rose to it, she stepped up to it, and she made it work.
We've got Giulio Berruti, who's well known in Italy as our leading man, and that was quite an experience going to Rome to cast him. And he really threw himself head first into the role, and he just gave so much energy and time and just perfecting.
I mean, our cast is quite diverse, because you go from Giulio Berruti to Greg Wise to Katie Brand, who's like a comedian herself, and it's just nice to have just a mixture of different people to work with. It was good fun, and the chemistry worked on film. So.
Yeah, and lots of people wouldn't have seen Greg Wise play a role quite like this. People might remember him from before in his other parts, but now he'll reinvent himself in this film, I believe. Yes.
Congratulations, guys. Enjoy yourselves tonight. Thanks a lot.